We are
All right.
live.
I suspect we're live. Welcome, everybody. Sorry, some software glitches as we try out new software, but we're back on Zoom today. So welcome along, everyone. Great to see so many of you here already. Welcome back, Baloo. Are you bad news, Baloo, today?
Welcome, everybody.
That's me.
I am
glitches.
I'm more of a cautious
new
bear
software,
today.
but we're back on.
Sorry about that.
My bad. I was going to tweet it out, and then we had our glitch.
So anyway, Mr. Gonzo, I hope you've got some good news, because I think Baloo's going to give us some. Well,
Rip
it's not
the
bad
market
news,
to
is it?
shreds.
You can
No, it's
short
not
it.
bad news.
Yeah.
No, it's not bad. Just more so cautionary, because the market's a little strange right now. You know, we're kind of in that in-between period where there's a lot of things that needs to happen when you have a large shakeout and we continue to the upside. And it's very hard to, go full bull at the right time. Bitcoin rules the space. We're not decoupled from that yet. Bitcoin rules the space. So if Bitcoin says no, the altcoins say no harder. And we do have to be apprehensive of that, all in an environment where altcoins are kind of popping off left, right, and center. We're seeing a lot of really bullish price action and a lot of altcoins that are bringing people into positions. And it's very tempting to want to participate in a lot of these altcoin trades. So I'm taking a little bit more of a conservative approach. Let me go ahead and share my screen here.
It's like Wu-Tang.
So
Bitcoin rules everything
Wu-Tang.
around me. Yeah.
Exactly. That's where we're at. So we've been trying to overtake this resistance right at around, $49,000 to $50,000. It's kind of just a very powerful psychological resistance that we've mentioned multiple times in previous shows, that this is a very important level to pay attention to. It's the area where we had the second leg of the downtrend, of the shakeout, and it's also the area that's underneath of the previous support of the last consolidation back here. So let me just draw that kind of general area. So, this whole area is a pretty tough resistance to get through, and we're running out of steam. We are seeing less trading activity, less trading volume. The rallies that we're seeing going up to this level, we had a strong rally, weaker rally, and an even weaker rally. So we're seeing a shortening in the thrusts on the rallies. This is indicative of buyer exhaustion. We're having a lot of the bulls just running out of steam, and bears haven't really come in to sell just yet, but we can take a look at some of the on-chain data for the short term. And this move was kind of unfair for a lot of trading strategies that more macro and larger players typically take. They will become a participant on a pullback on when there's a little bit of fear in the market. We kind of haven't had a pullback. So nothing in these markets has to happen. But I am approaching this with a little bit of apprehension at the moment, just because of the lack of demand here. Let me get rid of that highlighter tool. I'm also seeing a bearish divergence. Now, divergence, I never just spot a divergence by itself and say, oh my God, we have a bearish divergence. It has to be supplementary to a couple other things. So we are shortening thrusts, we have low volume, we are under a resistance, and we have a bearish divergence. So there are a lot of things that are kind of pointing us to, at least this is a test of the underside of the resistance, unfortunately. So I would speculate that we would need to pick up some more liquidity at lower levels before having an opportunity to reach higher levels. I also took a look at some of the on-chain data with Bitcoin, and most of it looks relatively normal, nothing out of the ordinary, except for this one chart here, which is the BTC total transfer volume, which is, like the name implies, it's the total transfers that are occurring. So, we're seeing a huge increase in the amount of value transfers on the Bitcoin network. And we're seeing the same sort of thing on the Ethereum network as well. if we go to, if my computer will load, where is it? And if I was better prepared. Okay, well, I'm not going to waste your time trying to find
That's
it,
fine.
but we're
Have
seeing a increase in activity on the addresses. That is kind of typical of what you see before some sort of move as people are preparing for the move. Most of what we're seeing in the markets right now, as far as the market participants, is the transactions are usually to and from an exchange or to and from a hardware wallet or something like that. So it could be just a big influx of everybody moving to a hardware wallet. But actually, let's check the exchanges.
Hey, can I suggest
Yeah.
that that's NFTs being minted? Like you're getting 10,000
For if
one of a kind runs, right? And you're just getting all these
Yeah.
copycats popping up. It's congesting the network. It's making everything slow. It's driving all the fees up. So it wouldn't surprise me if that had something to do with it.
It wouldn't surprise me either. The concerning thing with me is just what's happening on the Bitcoin network as well. Now, again,
exactly.
I'm still overall
different.
bullish. I'm still overall bullish. I think that this move caught a lot of people off guard. People with big balances, people that are more disciplined traders and investors that have certain parameters that allow them to invest that weren't met in this rally. We just went up. And so if you missed the first entry, you didn't get another one. So I do feel as though we just don't have the demand to carry us through this key resistance right here. Cautionary tale, altcoins are popping off, very tempting space to get involved with. And, on the note of NFTs, Gonzo, there's euphoria in the space. I always get a little bit apprehensive and a little bit more cautious when there is
Max Payne, man. I'm calling Max Payne coming.
Yeah.
Max Payne. Like we're going to
typically
see a crazy liquidity crunch. We're going to see network congestion. We're going to see mass devaluation of NFT assets. Like I think it's all just going to snap and something will trigger it. Maybe it's a big Bitcoin dump. Maybe it's a big ETH dump, but there's some kind of FUD maybe, but it all just and I think it's just going to come down like all these cards, man. The more I'm seeing it, it's crazy the fucking amount of dollar value that's being thrown around. I just paid 30 ETH for a thing, and it's like, what?
Somebody paid $1.6 million for a rock, and they're happy to flip it too. There's going to be a buyer. It's peaky for you.
The amount of money that's being generated in this crypto economy, right? It's creating bubbles. Yeah. It's totally creating bubbles.
Yeah.
And it's gonna pop somehow.
Yeah. Soon. Typically when you're in these areas of peak euphoria, this was an area of peak euphoria.
Yeah, dude. Let's
back
check
here in the DeFi.
Fear and greed chart.
Fear and greed is not off the chart, but it's up at 80.
I would love to see that one.
Let's take a look at fear and greed.
Because that is the shit, man. It's getting close to fear, to greed. Top greed. I was looking at it this morning, but just a number. I don't understand, how did they get this data for this stat? Do you understand this one?
Yeah, that one's I don't know where the data's pulled. I just know that it's a chart and it's consistent data and people use it.
Everybody has their daily poll. Are you scared? Or are you greedy?
Yeah.
You get that data. It's probably just bullshit. Is that tied to social media scores or analysis?
Okay, this one always changes on me. Market data. There we go.
No, crown trading.
Okay. Fear and greed. Where is fear and greed?
Have you guys heard much about?
While you're finding that, I mean, I'll just throw my 2 cents worth in on the NFT space. I think, I 100% agree. A lot of these art initiatives, these JPEGs, etc. I mean, there's some mania there, but I do think that as a sector of blockchain, the NFT space is really in its infancy and just getting warmed up.
Yeah, 100%. It's just the use that it's being used for is not what it's going to end up being used for. You know, like
Correct.
this is not a sector designed for us to share JPEGs.
Like we're getting one of these
and if
bubbles. We're getting one of these use case
Yeah.
bubbles every like 4 months now, right? Like DeFi, and then like NFTs in general, and now we're getting separate NFT bubbles, right? So the Dogecoin bubble, right? All the money's just going to one little hype thing. Right now, it's the JPEGs and avatars. Have you guys heard about protocols where they're lending?
It's Cardano at the moment.
Oh, dude, I want to look at that too. That's crazy. But the using NFTs as collateral for lending, like Aave for NFTs, like you deposit a high valued NFT. When that starts,
that's actually. You know, I don't know enough about this, but I've heard about how this works. Now, the collateral of the NFT, basically they just pay you DAI and you hold the NFT for collateral, and it's just that clean and simple, or what's the catch there?
I'm not sure yet, but I've heard of a couple.
Because if you can deposit,
yeah,
if you can deposit an NFT and receive cash, you just got zero risk. Like if the NFT plummets in value, you effectively shorted the NFT and you got the cash, and you know, at any point you could buy the NFT back for market value. So I wonder if it is some sort of some sort of financial instrument to be able to short NFTs. I don't know, but it would be interested. I should take a look at one of those applications and see exactly how it works. But anyways, Fear and Greed's up at 79. You know, typically when you're at 80-ish, you know, you need to be a little bit more careful. This one does change its color. So, you know, when we're green, it's a good time to buy. And when we're red, it's not a good time to buy. So
look,
just
with the
emphasizing
price action, right?
the need for caution out there.
The price action kind of works inversely, right?
Mm-hmm.
People see this big dump, now they get greedy, right?
Yeah,
and then the
big
big
fearful.
Pump, the big pump. I see that. Okay, the green is fearful.
Yes. Yeah.
Red is greed. Yeah.
But just audience. We're obviously the show isn't financial advice. We're not entirely sure where the fear and greed index comes from either. So take it.
It's just one of those charts that I kind of accept at face value. You know, it's something that's out there. It's something that's used, but I have no idea how it works.
I don't base anything. I don't base anything on that, but it's a good tool to mix in with like things like Twitter sentiment.
Yeah.
You know, like you can hear what people are saying on Twitter. Like you check your timeline and, oh fuck, everybody's bearish, right? And you check the fear and greed and like, yep, sure enough, everybody's in the same boat. Like everybody's like, oh, we're gonna die, right?
And that's what's making me worried is the Twitter sentiment on how everything's just a sure thing right now. We're good to go. You know, we're full bull. It's time to go all in. I'm making stupid amounts of money flipping NFTs. Why aren't you flipping NFTs? You know, this, that, the other. People are going to catch out at some point. People are going to stop buying the NFTs at some point. Like they're going to get too expensive for people to buy. I don't know. Be careful out there, people.
You want to hear a crazy crypto conspiracy?
Yes, you know, I do.
Like
always.
Like ETH, man, it seems so at the control of the network, right? And like the guys that are in it early, they got a bunch of ETH. They're minting this shit, right? You just congest the network all at the same time. Like we had that in DeFi with that big. When DeFi started bleeding out, the network would get so congested you couldn't withdraw anything, even if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You know. So they figured that out. Like they know how that works, right? Like. OpenSea starts going down too, right? That started going down yesterday.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, to maybe throw some water on that. If you were a big ETH holder, you're shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, there's other competitors to that blockchain now that are coming up thick and fast.
But ETH
let's take a look at one of the competitors.
Cardano,
my favorite, Cardurpo.
Cardurpo.
Derp.
No, but
the cult coin.
ETH, it's like Bitcoin for first movers of smart contracts, right? Like DeFi is better on Polygon, but everybody does it on ETH, right?
Right.
These are cheaper to mint and like, you know, on different networks, but everybody does it on ETH, right? It's the same reason with Bitcoin, right? it's just established as the network, and all the value is there. So everybody's paying $100 to mint an NFT, right? Like nobody gives a shit. They're just like, wow.
Yeah.
So what is this chart telling us about Cardano?
Well, you know, it's in a very strong bullish trend right now. So, you know, becoming a market participant here can be kind of difficult. There are a few strategies that you could do if you were bullish, but we're almost at that point of invalidation. We're really overheated in the RSI with a little bit of bearish divergence. This is kind of our next little support level down at $2.50. A good little trick when you're in these kind of fast moving rallies is actually just to turn on the TD sequential and look for a few, whatever the bearish, I don't even know what these are called, the bearish sequential ends up being. So we got a 1-2, wait for a 1-2 to show up, and then you could, you know, become a participant. But like I said, I don't really have a lot of interest in trading altcoins right now, just because I think that there's too much of a, I think they're overvalued currently, and I think that the market's going to have a little bit of a short-term shift. You know, whether or not the viewers want to hear that.
I think
just
this
sharing my sentiments.
This coin is definitely overvalued for sure.
Well, yeah, this one doesn't do anything. So,
well, it's staking. It has a strong staking network.
Yeah, it doesn't allow you to put. You can put it somewhere where you can't place a stop loss. Real good use case.
It worked for Hex.
Fans of Cardano here in the house, obviously.
Hey, it worked for Hex. That's Hex's use case, right? Staking, term deposits.
Yeah,
but he didn't pretend he was going to build the whole network until after he got all the money locked in, right?
Right.
There's some very angry viewers right now. I got some big Cardano fans out there, but look.
Well,
Can we look at Hex? Can we look at Hex?
Well, it is a technical analysis show, but I
appreciate
your. I appreciate.
How about DAG? DAG has some crazy fundamental news.
What is DAG? That's the second time I've heard that now.
Constellation.
Oh, right. Yes.
They're building another another network, right? But they have contracts with the US military, and they've said that they're going to deliver a minimal viable project for this JCT2, which
in New Zealand.
Hold on. Let me finish explaining it. It's complicated. It's like the whole American military and intelligence will be using a crypto network for all their information, cryptographically sealed, secured, right? And they've built a minimal viable project on this network, DAG. So the nodes came online. That was that huge spike. And then now it's just building because they're going to deliver this American defense and department network. So, I mean,
interesting.
Bullish, right?
I personally find it hard to, I personally find that hard. I find it hard to believe that the U.S. military would be so liberal with information, personally.
Well, I mean,
but I'm just being bearish right now.
I can share you a link, and it's from the
sure.
So, I mean, it's like any shitcoin. It's been around for quite for like a long time, right? For 3.5 years. Like I bought this originally on IDEX, right? So the chart, this is probably only the KuCoin chart.
We get a fill and chill going on here from Mr. Gonzo.
What's that?
A fill and chill, as you call it.
Oh, dude.
Fill and chill.
Yeah, I filled 3 years ago and I shilled it then, but nobody stuck around. This is just another one where like the initial idea, like I didn't go big. I spent like a third or half an ETH, I think, just buying little piles on IDEX. At the time, ETH was like...
You did all right then, huh?
$300, So like the idea, I'm like, man, if they fucking execute this is going to be crazy. So I just bought a little bag, and then they had a wallet swap. When it listed on KuCoin, they did a swap, and it was a big ordeal to get off their own network and stuff. So I just keep them on KuCoin because I don't have their own wallet yet, but I should sell them. But
so the question is, Mr. Gonzo, it's a technical analysis show.
Yeah, it's giving you a nice return.
Are you holding or selling?
What's that? I should sell, but I haven't. But I mean, I keep looking at it and it's like, oh, it's going to break 30. Oh, it broke 40. And the volume's going up. The nodes are going online. The news is coming. Definitely going to be a sell the news, but it's another one where like my investment was so small at the beginning. I'm totally fine holding it into oblivion if it goes to zero, because it's not, I don't think, and I can just ride it out for another couple of years. That's my theory right now. You know, short-term price action, I could try and trade it, but this is one of those bags where I just put it away and I'm waiting for it. So this is great that it's worth this much now. I'll probably shave some off and take some Bitcoin out of it, actually.
Well, there you go.
Seems like it's going fast. Usually that's an overpricing.
Yeah, right. It looks crazy. What? There's 3 reds that say bearish and no bullish ones since under 5 cents.
We got a bullish one right here.
I've missed the boat on DAG, I think. So
you missed. I mean, if you want to get in, pay attention, but I wouldn't be buying up here. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is just one that's like, I think, moving counter to the, well, it's, you know, the euphoria, right? People are looking at things to buy, but this is a legit one.
Yeah.
Like, I think the use case will actually carry it. You know, there's definitely gonna be some pullback, obviously. I mean, look at it, it's going crazy. So
yeah, it's overvalued.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's crypto projects like AXS, right? Where you think it's overvalued, but then the use case takes over and it's actually really undervalued still, right? And it doesn't really dip below certain levels, it just levels up, right? So this one, because there's nodes going too, right? People are loading up for nodes, right? And if the and everybody buys in on the nodes, like it's gonna.
Okay, stop shilling us DAG. We've moved on, and New Zealand DAG is
I'm not shilling anything. I'm not shilling anything. I'm just telling you the value proposition of a project. You know, like it's doing well in the market, right? So I thought I'd bring it up and why it's doing well.
Fair enough. So yeah, look, there were some comments earlier. Obviously, I know many of you have read that article about the tax department in the Philippines raising, what did they say? They were expecting people to pay tax on crypto earnings. I mean, to me, reading that article, there's nothing new there, people. We will track that closely. But yeah, I don't think there's too much to discuss on that one at this point.
Yeah, governments find out if you're making money, they're going to want a cut of it. That's always the same. Who was it that said, you know, there's 2 guarantees in life, death and taxes?
Yeah.
So of course you have to pay taxes.
The only tool the government has.
Who knew?
Point, right?
Yeah.
It's the only tool they have. They're just trying to scare people right now by saying, you're making money, we want some. Like, it doesn't seem like there was any laws or anything that was being passed or new.
Well, it sounds like just, you know, statement. Hey, we know you guys are making money, and just as a reminder, when you make money, you have to pay taxes.
But that's
so you don't need to pass anything that's already there. Like, you have to pay taxes.
It's a well-timed statement. Makes everybody think.
SLP price is kind of struggling a little bit. We've been in a downtrend with SLP for a while now. So yeah, I mean, the market, it's I'm not liking a lot of the market currently. I'm going to stop being bearish and just, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to take precautions, right? It depends on the terms.
Yeah, you do. Right? Protection of capital. You know, if you are trading, if you are, you know, experienced, hedge, you know, respect your capital, respect your downside exposure. And if you're investing, you're investing. You know, it was actually, I heard a really good quote from Arcane Bear, another YouTuber, who said, you know, investors trade dollars for assets and traders trade assets for dollars. So what are you doing? You know, if you are trading, you know, you need to protect those dollars. If you are investing, protect the assets. Don't sell the assets, you know, pick a side.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I mean,
or get into the play to earn games and you don't have to put any money down. You can earn it.
Here's the perfect,
no money down.
That brings me to my point about this chart, right? You can pinpoint the exact moment that it happens. When they make the announcement that SLP, they're going to use more SLP for breeding. Right. And that at that moment, you're going to get a bunch of people buying again, because right now nobody buys SLP.
It was right here. Was this the announcement right here?
Oh no, I'm saying
for SLP,
the next step in the chart.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I could honestly see SLP just doing this the rest of its life. You know, It's always
Yeah.
between like, 10 and like 40, 50 cents, and it's
Yep.
just going to range
I
in
could
the,
see that as well,
right?
because
Because
the
there's,
economy does have to kind of make sense a little bit.
yeah,
Getting this thing to a buck,
yeah,
where
it's like you don't want
your
it to add a buck.
2000 MMR making $18 a round, it's not sustainable. It doesn't make sense. So it does have to kind of make sense. You have to work for it. You have to earn it. It has to be hard. If it's not hard, it's not worth it. So they're definitely pulling the levers of this economy, and I think they're prepared to let it fall a little bit more before they implement some of the changes that they have. And I think they've got a few really valuable tools in their arsenal to
Yeah.
kick back demand on this thing. I'm very excited for.
the AXS breeding fee has been reduced. We don't have a definitive date on that.
was.
They're going to do it when they have to do it.
It was
That's
down
when
to
it's going to be
2.
reduced.
Where I know it's
I-
down to 2, but it's going to reduce even further, as my understanding, and SLP will go up.
They're going to do SLP first. They're not going to. I don't think they dropped the AXS fee right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope you're right, because we're about to do a big breeding show on Saturday, viewers. So that'll be on Twitch. So make sure you subscribe to the Hard Forking Twitch if you want to sit in on that. We're creating a bunch of new teams. Lots of announcements coming up as well on that front.
I get to see, like, ideally that chart, I think it just gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, to where it just ends at like 25 cents. Like SLP is pegged to like the value of one game, or like one turn. It's like going to the arcade, right? You pay a quarter, you win or you lose, right? Like that's the value of your time, right?
Yeah.
You don't want a game to be worth $100, but if you're really, really good at that game, you get more SLP, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's kind of the idea, right? And then it's otherwise like modified by the breeding fees, right? Which increases the demand and the supply. But if it was a base, if it was a stable coin, if SLP was a stable coin, I think the economy would do really well, right? Because you knew how much a win was worth, and then if you got better at it and you won bigger stakes, then you get more. That makes so much sense, right? But the variable, the time and the skill, it's interesting. This whole thing, man, it's just like every day I'm like, holy fuck, what is my life right now? I'm a video game like
Manager.
scholarship manager, esports team manager, building crazy crypto stuff, building community, helping people. This is like, wow, this is amazing.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So just
Yeah.
Join us Saturday. We'll be there for a number of hours talking Axie. Guys, let's wrap it up with one more gaming token, one we always look at, Baloo. I think you can guess what one it is.
Is it Rev?
Yeah, it's Rev. It's up 20% today.
Woo, look at that coin. Oh no, that's big. Sorry. Rev. Tether.
Yeah, so Rev, is, let me make this a little, excuse me,
Isn't it better with a historical
little easier to see.
chart? Isn't it better with a historical
Did they
chart?
get up to? They got up to 30 cents at one point.
Yeah, it got up to 30 cents. Now it does this weird, it has a
This is
very
KuCoin.
wiki price action. Yeah, this is
Because it's
KuCoin.
You should check the
One at a time, boys. One at a time.
Oh no, but I'm like KuCoin is notorious for that. It's the same with DAG, right? Like that wick on it doesn't read anywhere else except for on KuCoin. If you had like the ETH chart, it'd probably be better. It's more because it's been on Ether prices for a long time, right? That gives you longer term. When you look at those crazy spikes, it really helps to see where it started, I think, right?
The price movements in Rev are so often coincide with an event. They've got one coming up. It's actually on at the moment. So I think this price spike's obviously to do with that.
I mean, look at that, right? Like,
Yeah.
is it overvalued? Well, compared to ETH, when most people bought it, like it's way undervalued right now. So if it goes up,
and it's kind of in a holding pattern right now. So yeah, we're seeing a pretty bullish. That's the thing. Like when this token moves, it moves a lot because it is such a small market cap. You can get, if you get a break above this level, actually I'd be a little bit more conservative, or do both, buy a breakout of both of this level. You could potentially show that we're ready to change the trend. But yeah, it's getting some wild action after a nice accumulative phase here. So It's looking good. They're
Just
drumming up business. They're getting people to buy the token. That's for sure.
What's the volume candle for the news, right? What was the news?
There's just a new season of racing. Look, something's coming out of Animoca Brands every few days at the moment.
Yeah, 687 ETH on of trading volume on today's candle. So it's a small cap coin, but still, 687 ETH.
The contrast of the previous days, right? Like it was almost dying off.
Oh yeah. The day prior was 140. So, big difference.
Amioka Brands, they just did another partnership I saw today. Where was that?
Look, they're in everything. They've invested in Chronicles. They had a funding round that they brought in about 130 odd million last month from a round. They're popping up everywhere. They're a major player in the NFT gaming space, and we all know what's happening in NFT gaming at the moment. So that's a token I'm happy to be holding.
Star Atlas. That's the news. That's the candle. Sorry.
So
that's it.
Nine Chronicles is doing pretty well. It looks like it's flattening out. Oh, I'm just. This is the the ETH pair. So, it seems to be stabilizing here. I don't have a proper chart. It doesn't have a proper chart. Is there something going on with the bridge? I heard their bridge isn't functioning or something like that.
Yeah.
Still on hold. We're hoping to hear
Still
something.
on hold. So then what is? So what is this? Where is this? Where are these tokens? What is this?
Just
the
on
bridge
Sushi
doesn't
Swap.
work.
It's just
this is from the initial launch.
Okay. So this is a very small supply that's being traded here.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, REVV, you guys. The reason REVV is because they partnered with Star Atlas, right? So they announced an official partnership with the Star Atlas, which is a big play to earn game. They're going to use their network for their NFTs and stuff.
All right, Baloo. So we'll let you round it out. So you are Baloo the bear today for sure. A cautionary tale.
I think that, just to be clear, my thought for the macro cycle is we are getting ready for the blow off top. We are getting ready for the final leg of the bull market. We are preparing for large price appreciation. That's my macro approach. That's my macro speculation. The day to day is what a lot of retail is really focused on. And if you're asking the day to day, I think there's a lot of bearish signals and there's a very euphoric sentiment in this space that typically calls for some sort of emotional correction and price correction. But I do not think that this bull market is over. I think that, we're going to experience something very, very exciting. Is it going to be tomorrow? No, you're probably going to be scared tomorrow is what I'm thinking.
Actually, just before we wrap up, have you got a long short ratio breakdown there to hand?
Long short ratio breakdown. I don't know. I never really checked those, to be perfectly honest.
I
know that the funding. I know the funding rate is it's nothing crazy in the funding rate. Open interest is climbing to moderate, so we can expect some sort of moderate move, and more people are long than they are bearish. More people are long than they are short.
What's the percentage breakdown there for longs and shorts?
This is the funding rate. I don't have a long short ratio.
People were massively long.
Global leverage ratio. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are long, and there was also a lot of put covers in the options market that are likely going to expire worthless. I think they might have just expired worthless while we've been talking.
Right.
So, a lot of puts. We got a lot of expensive pieces of paper out there.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today, sir. I haven't actually looked at the markets in the last couple of days. I've been immersed in the gaming world. So, I haven't actually done any trading.
Immersed in the metaverse. Exactly. Trapped in the metaverse.
I love that quote from Gabby Dizon from YGG. It's like for the people that are playing these play to earn games, crypto is something you do. It's not something you trade. Right.
It's a very good approach. It's a very good approach. You know, trading should be secondary.
Trading has value, and
you should use and you should invest. You should use and you should invest.
You gotta learn the basics.
Trading, there's so much. There's a lot to learn. And I will say, when you learn, you will lose money. There's 3 stages of being a trader. There is stage 1, you lose money. There is stage 2, you stop losing money. And then there is stage 3, you start making money. And, you know, it's really that simple, but every single trader goes through those 3 phases. So it's up to you.
And on that note, if you are an
money.
experienced trader, if you're an experienced trader, please use our link to BYBIT below and check out Baloo's trading group if you're into trading as well, people.
Check out Baloo's Twitch as well. That looks pretty cool. I like your Twitch, man. I was checking it out yesterday.
Oh, thank you.
I like your little intro.
He kicked me out of his Twitch stream. He told me I was a boomer. I was get out of there.
Get out of here. What are you doing here? This is Twitch.
Over here. We got Twitch. We got Twitch Boomer stream over here.
We got Boomer Twitch over here. It's called YouTube.
Yeah.
It's Facebook Live.
Well,
very true.
We got a Facebook Live. The Filipinos love Facebook, man. It's like all kinds of traffic on Facebook in the Philippines. It's different markets, different things.
Yeah, we actually get a ton of traffic on Facebook. So on that note, thank you very much to the community. I really noticed a hell of a lot of you were really sharing our content around, getting your friends and colleagues in front of the channel as well, which we massively appreciate that. So coming up, we'll be back here tomorrow with Jesse and Leanne. Friday we've got our live show. Saturday we'll be on Twitch. We're going to be doing a lot of Axie content there to really help coach our scholars. That's a big theme of what we're doing. We've built good friendships with a lot of that team, so we really want to keep expanding what we're bringing to you all. So make sure you check that out. If you haven't subscribed, get over to Hard Forking channel on Twitch. Baloo, thank you so much for your time, mate. You do this for free. We appreciate it, imparting a hell of a lot of knowledge as far as YouTube. Well, any streamers in the trading space, I really value your content. You're not a hype man. So look, if you haven't subscribed
fair enough.
Yeah, if you haven't subscribed to his channels, people, make sure you do. Show Baloo your support as well, please. Thank you, Mr. Gonzo. Full of beans today.
Yeah, a little fired up. A couple of changes happening, Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's just a little bit of reorganizing, reorg, hard forking, reorg.
The sun's shining in Bangkok for you.
Yeah, always pretty much. It's good. Still locked here. Yep. Might be moving. Maybe we'll see. Baloo, how long are you staying in Bali?
My plan is to stay here until about November, late November, early December. Yeah. And then head back to North America and hope I don't get trapped there.
Like Canada?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Stop over in the US. Suss it out. I may or may not go back to Canada.
Go back and
we'll see. I know that I can travel to the US and and if things are still kind of sketchy in the winter with COVID and stuff like that, I'll probably just go to Mexico. They don't need anything. They need nothing to get in. Nothing.
Yeah, right.
No PCR, no anything.
Really? That's still the case.
Hey, let's go meet in Tulum.
Yeah, Tulum.
I'm in a complete lockdown here in New Zealand. We can't even leave the house. It's a hardcore bang. You ain't going nowhere. I'm not even sure you can't leave the country. I know the Australians are we're all pretty much locked up down here in this part of the world.
It sounds pretty bad in Vietnam as well. Like you can't even leave your house for food. The government is distributing food. You can't leave if you're sick.
Wow.
Really?
Like
wow.
Lockdown. Curfew and military enforcement.
Things can only get better, people.
Yeah.
Into the metaverse.
Hit the floor.
Yeah. Anyway, we wouldn't be building all these wonderful friendships to the degree that we are doing it online, doing this type of thing. So there's a silver lining to everything.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. It's certainly just ridden a rocket under the adoption of crypto. We're seeing it firsthand in the gaming space. And look, as you say, Baloo, I think short term bearish here, but for me, where anyone watching this, you are still so early. You're early.
You're early. Learn, be patient, accumulate slowly. You don't have to freak out and feel like you have to get everything all at once, dollar cost average, because 2% of the world uses crypto. And I would hazard to guess that 60% of those 2% are just here to trade. So they don't actually use crypto. They're just here trading. The adoption of this technology is tiny, teeny tiny. Nobody, you're early.
Yeah, absolutely. On that note, stay safe out there, everyone. Keep learning. We're here on the daily. Check out Baloo's channel as well. And we'll see you all back here tomorrow. Cheers, guys.